Mary and Bruce, do you want to stay unmute? Do you want to stay muted for now?
Yeah, I'm going to mute myself and then I'll unmute it when I talk.
Thank you, darling. Just making sure. I have all this power.
Larry. Hi, Larry.
Hey, there's Larry. We're
Hi,
hopping
Larry.
on now.
Oh,
I'm telling you, it's like a bloody video game. Bing, 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 bing. Well, it was funny when I was doing the cutting down to put up on YouTube of last week's meeting. It was the first half an hour is hilarious because I got to not only hear what the person I was talking to, but all the cross current of talk that was going on. And we're very funny. 26 people all talking at the same time. It's
Tracy Berksman, do you have your Rotary pin on?
I can go get it.
I was going to say, go get it.
Go get it.
I'll be right back.
All right, go get it.
Thank
Tracy
you.
does.
we have
Oh.
on.
Oh, and Larry's got his,
No,
and
no,
let's
no,
rock.
that
No,
doesn't
doesn't
count, Larry.
count, Larry.
You have to have the pin. You can go get it.
Oh, Larry, there we go. We'll unmute Larry. I think it's very funny that Kathy was talking about that she was roasting chickens and she just got chickens, and I was just thinking she'd already given up already and they were already becoming dinner.
You guys have chickens again? You guys have chickens again?
Well, we don't have them yet. The chicks are coming in May.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there's Molly.
We're getting 6 buff orchids.
Okay.
Oh, he does.
Okay.
2, 3,
Hi, Bill.
Jim.
There it
is.
There it is. Okay, Larry's got his.
There, Gracie's got hers.
Oh, I gotta go get mine? Okay, hang on. Well, there's
Hey,
John.
John.
Hey, John.
Larry
Oh. Oh my goodness, my
Hi,
goodness.
Tracy Schultz.
and Mary.
Nice seeing you with your white wine.
Hey,
Everybody.
so since we're socializing, I have a tip for the women.
Okay. What is
If
the tip for the women?
If your gray hair is coming out, can you see this?
Yeah. Magic roots. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Okay.
You can get it at Rite Aid.
Man.
All right. Ray, my handsome Ray Green. If you move your camera up a little bit, we'll be able to see more than your nose.
Here you go, Jane.
And you don't have to wear a mask today.
There you go. And you don't have to.
Got it.
Ray's got his mask on. Okay.
Oh, much better.
I got you, Molly. Thank you.
All right. I have Hank's computer iPad.
Hey,
We have Hank.
it worked for a minute.
There you are, Hank. We're connecting your audio. Give it a sec.
Charles.
Hey, Charles.
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 Okay. So Mary, you're staying. Mary's taking care of herself. I have Charles. Hank, can you hear us? You're still connecting your audio. Okay.
Ray Green.
Mary, you're taking care of you. Hank,
I'm-
talk. There you are,
just-
honey.
Okay, so how do I get to everybody on the screen?
Okay.
Oh,
So right now, are you just seeing me big?
I am seeing you big.
Okay.
So that's, you must be the speaker, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do impromptu Zoom class every single Monday at this time. So
Okay, I'm
if
seeing
you
Molly.
if you go to the top right-hand side, you'll see, when you take your cursor there, you'll see it says speaker view. And if you click it, it'll say gallery view. And then you'll be able to see all your friends on the camera right now.
Okay, none of those things appear.
Are
The
you
only
on the
thing-
iPad?
Yes.
Okay.
It's on the left side.
John just appeared.
Okay. So Kathy and Jim are on an iPad. So Kathy, Jim, where is their?
In the upper left corner, if you touch in the upper left corner, you'll see 2 icons. There's a switch camera and then a switch to active speaker. And if you
Okay.
switch to active speaker, which must be Sharon and Gordy, because, but if you do that,
Okay.
if you click that switch to active speaker, it'll go switch to gallery view, and then you can see everybody. You have to swipe to the left to see the next screen.
Okay, is
Okay.
that George on the, is that George with the call in?
No, it's me, right.
That's Ray Green.
Oh,
Hey, Ray.
Ray, I see you, darling, and you look great. And is that half of Mary's shoulder behind you?
Yes.
Yay. So somebody just popped in at 360-321-2744. Who is that?
That's me. That's right.
That's Ray.
Okay, so
So it said video on one and audio.
audio on the other. Okay, so all right, Ray, you are double dipping. As long as I know that's you.
You have to show two pins, Ray. You know.
Yeah, Ray needs to show 2 pins because he's plugged into the meeting now twice. So
Hey, I just got my gallery view. Sorry.
yay!
Hey, Hank. Hey,
Yeah.
did you get my email about my sequestered state over here?
I did.
Well,
Yeah, Gordy and I.
Where's Mary?
Maybe
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Gordy and I were trying to arrange a secret smoking party, but it was sausage smoking, not anything else.
Well,
well, I don't know.
I don't know.
What does smoke do with the virus?
So, did you smoke any?
Sausages
No, I haven't yet. I
or
haven't.
anything else?
Gordy, without you, I lost my inspiration.
Okay, well, one of these months I'll re-inspire you here when we get the
Okay.
governor on the right track.
All right.
Jane, am I picking up Tylenol for you this week? Go ahead,
If
Hank. I'm
you
sorry.
find some, I would love you to pick me up sometime.
Okay. Yes,
All right.
Hank. I'm
I have-
sorry.
You have your pins on?
I have 9 people on my screen. Are there more than that on?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
We all
If
know
you
that's you.
if you swipe, you'll be able to see more of us, I believe.
It's an 18 right now.
Jane,
Oh yeah, there's the rest of you.
Jane, this is
Okay.
Ed. Status of the masks.
The orders?
Yeah.
Oh, I think John is going to talk about, where are you, John? You're going to talk about that at the meeting, right? We're going to go over that and where they're at.
Yep.
And pay
Yeah.
Yep. A lot to cover. A lot going on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very busy, a busy meeting.
it is. It is. We officially have a new member tonight, and I know Kathy's got some stuff that she wants to go over with Foundation, and Larry's got stuff, and we had, yeah, trust me, this is like mini production every week. It's hilarious.
Hi, John.
It was great having Ron on last week. Thank you for arranging that.
You bet. I've asked, and just in prep for the meeting, Steve's going to join us here. Let's get him connected.
There he
Steve
is.
is joining us. Oh, there's Steve. Okay.
Steve, you there?
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
I don't see your face.
Just a minute ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just give him a second. Molly, you're muting yourself. Same with Celia and same with Mary. You are my 3 that I don't have to. Oh, there's Steve. Hey, Steve. There you are. Did you decide to, Steve, did you decide to come in without video?
No, I have video.
Yeah, show your face, Steve.
Okay.
You get to see mine.
So there you go.
There you are.
So Steve has one of those wonderful things that basically he doesn't show his face unless I ask him if he would show his face.
There you go.
He's a badass. What can we say?
He's trying to hide his Rotary pin.
He's trying to hide.
So Molly, you had pointed out about Ron. Yes, Ron, as you know, even last week, man, a lot goes by, doesn't it? In like a week, it's incredible. He was just up to his proverbial, and he did stop and pause and joined us, and that was a real blessing. And a lot's transpired in between, which we'll cover in the meeting. He's so forever grateful. We're grateful he's a member in our club, but he's also a member in Steve's in terms of international and all. So we've had almost daily chats with him, with texting or something. He's as tired as can be, However, he and his staff are plowing through it all.
He's probably putting in 16 to 20-hour days.
Yeah, I was going to make a suggestion to the club. I've been thinking about doing this myself, but if anyone wanted to join me, just get a gigantic sign that says "Thank you, healthcare workers," and go sit out front for like an hour at lunchtime or something like that, just to give a visible voice of support.
We just
Right.
drive
We'll get, yes, we'll get, yes. We'll
John,
get-
I think we should make that happen in about 15 minutes.
Yeah. So Gwen,
Yes, sir.
we know we love each other, right? So you
What?
gotta put your mouth where your mouth is, right? Or your,
Yes.
you know, you gotta,
I
yeah,
have to show it.
okay. You wanna do it now?
It's,
I ha-
it's kind of
It's kind of 10 feet long.
cumbersome. It
Yeah,
4 feet by
but-
10 feet long.
I know.
I can show the artwork on my screen. I'm up at the house and Gwen's down in the office.
What are you, 10 feet apart, 8 feet apart, 6 feet?
We're
25 yards apart.
25 yards apart.
Yeah,
So to answer your question, Molly, yes.
yeah.
Not
we'll
only
get
are we
there.
going to have something for the healthcare workers, we have Celia has designed a 10-foot long, huge indoor-outdoor double-sided sign that
It arrived
just
today.
arrived today. Yeah, go ahead, Celia.
I'm just trying to find the artwork so I can put it up on my
I
screen.
got the artwork. Do you want me to do it?
And so what this is actually, why don't we hold it, please?
Okay.
Let's hold it. I know, I'm
Bam.
real excited too. And because then what we're all gonna do is cheer. Because actually this is a report that our AG, I'd like our AG to give in conjunction with Steve here. And we
Okay.
may have some others join too. Brian in the Oak Harbor Sunrise has asked to join, and the Morning Club might as well. So thanks for joining, Steve.
You bet. Anything for you, John.
I know.
By the way, Steve, that's being recorded, so I've just got that.
Send me that clip.
Can send you that clip ASAP.
I need to, I've been quiet here, but I need to say, Steve has just been a really awesome to work with, as well as the other two presidents on the island, and Bruce, and Gwen
There's
and
Cliff.
Celia. They've been working all week and into the all weekend.
Yes.
And things. So, hey, Cliff, your beard's growing nicely there.
I know, Cliff. You're getting Cliff is there. Oh, I see a movement. Oh,
nice, Cliff.
we don't. I'm trying to get audio from Cliff,
Yeah,
Mr.
look at
Cliff.
Hey,
Don't
Steve.
ask a question from Ed.
No, be serious.
Hey, there's Bruce.
How can I?
In another month, you'll look like Ray Green.
All right, I'm gonna. Whoop, whoop, and now we just lost Cliff.
Oh,
Whose phone is still showing up?
That's Ray is double dipping. That's Ray's on a phone line, and you can see Ray.
Ray's doing a makeup meeting.
And Jack is.
Jack came.
So
Yay.
Jack has made it.
Hey, Jack.
oh yeah.
Yay. Hi, Jack.
Okay, so asked to
Try to get
start
in.
video. Hold on, I got a lot of people that are asking permission from me.
Let them all in.
Yeah. Oh, she's couldn't control.
Hank just dropped his iPad. Okay, Jack should be, there's Jack. There he is.
Jack. Hey, Jack.
Jack.
Feel like it's morning. It's cocktail time.
It is.
Yeah. Cheers.
I was gonna say,
Jack.
just to let you know, Jack has a lot of booze that is on sale and he does deliver. And I'm not even charging you $20 for that, Jack.
Free marketing.
That's right. Free marketing.
Jack, are you delivering to Lil?
I have some of those too.
Oh, good. Okay.
We can talk.
Yes. I got a question for Ed. Hey, Ed,
Yes.
my drink,
Hello?
my drink just ran out. Could you get me another one, please?
Oh, that's just wrong. As somebody who just took care of that booze for you, young man, you go to your own kitchen and get your own booze.
Thank you, Gwen.
I'm trying to
Gordy,
keep this.
Hey, Gordy. You
Yeah.
can call China City. They'll deliver it to you in 30 minutes.
There you go, Gordy.
There you go.
You don't have to send me to Costco. Jack will take it right to your
We are
house.
gonna do it tomorrow, but we'll do it tonight too. What the heck?
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep this as much like a meeting as possible, so,
Yeah,
my
good.
glass.
Yeah, okay. You know, we could just do takeout from Jack's next Monday. We have the booze, and it'll be just like old times again when we used to meet at China City.
There we go.
Good.
Yeah.
Maybe Jack could put up little 6-foot strips for all of us so that we could just be in the parking lot.
There you go. We can all hang out.
I'm actually working on doing a wine tasting in Zoom, so I'm working on it. So.
Why not? Hey,
We'll
Janice.
Get some of the winemaker be part of the Zoom. They can
That sounds great. You know, Virginia would probably love doing that.
Yeah, so that'd be kind of fun.
All right, we've got about 4 minutes to see if anybody else catches on here. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I will apologize to the group at large. I will disappear after about 10 or 15 minutes to go to my next Zoom meeting.
Oh, is the port meeting?
The Langley City Council meeting.
Oh,
Ed, you're just zooming all over the place.
Never stop, never stop.
Maybe you could tell the mayor down there to stop sending out all these emails.
The mayor and I have had a conversation about this, I can assure you.
Well, and Ed, I will give you a call tomorrow and we can go over lining up all your Zoom contacts. So we'll put them all in a page so they'll be nice and easy for you, and all you'll have to do is click them. And hey, there's Nick sneaking in.
Hey, Nick.
You're in pretty good shape.
All right.
Hello.
So, hello. All right. Everybody's got their pins. Everybody's got their wine or other. So Jane, there's another for you.
there will be a lot of blank screens for just a moment now.
I know.
Intermission.
Their
It's
beverage.
intermission, right?
Last call for alcohol and Rotary pins. Okay. All right. I love it that that Tracy is Tracy. You realize we can see you. Tracy, you have an excellent stomach. I would just like to say. Oh my God. There you go. There she is. Oh my God.
I have a question. Is anyone a retired hairdresser?
Retired hairdresser.
All of us are going to be going for like weeks, months without a haircut.
Our nails.
Yeah. Call me.
Here's my Rotary pin.
There you go.
Who said that?
Hey, the last time I went for like 6 weeks or 8 weeks without a haircut, somebody told me I looked like a televangelist.
Oh my God, that's funny. Alicia has joined us from the tropics. There we go.
Hi, everybody.
Yay.
Hey.
Rick Brown has just joined us from the black hole of nothingness.
Nick's eating something.
Nick.
I'm eating my afternoon apple slices.
Good boy.
Alicia, where?
Okay, I'll send them around for next week, I promise.
So Alicia, are you backgrounding us, or are you really you're backgrounding us, aren't
It's
you?
just a background.
Yeah. Okay. Broken dream.
Welcome back, Alicia.
Thank you. Nice to be back.
So nice
Yeah.
to meet you.
Good to see you back, Alicia.
Okay. All right. I think that's just about it. The majority of people are unmuted at this time. So if all of a sudden your dogs start barking or something like that, please note that I will be making it quiet again. And just like I have to do all the time in the state of Washington, when you have more than a certain amount of people, you have to tell them that this is being recorded. And so this is being recorded for public consumption. Ready, everybody?
Ready?
All right, then I hand this over to Mr. John. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. And all welcome. Hey, Rick, are we going to see you?
Might take the tape off my camera here.
What have you been doing?
He had his NSA device filter on at the time.
Oh, there you are. Good. Well, we have everyone here.
And Carol has even just jumped on, John.
Carol, where's Carol?
I'm getting there.
Okay. Carol's a special guest. Yes.
All right.
Carol?
Hold on. Got her. There she is. There's Carol.
Hey, Carol.
Hello, everyone.
With a mask. Wonderful. Well, we've got a good full house. And as Gwen said, we did the countdown. We're official. I'm getting a echo feedback.
From your computer, turn your volume down, John.
That's hard to do.
Or your phone off, one of the two.
That better?
Or your phone off, yeah. And Doug is outside, okay?
Hey, Doug. Okay, we've got a good group here. Welcome, Carol and Jack and Steve. Bruce will take it as we get going here. So I'm going to kick over to share screen. Look at my messy screen. Let's go play here. And what I'm going to do is just put these up for a short bit so we can always look at each other, as opposed to these. From our our first Zoom, we learned a lot. So welcome everybody. And we did happy hour, so let's Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We could go, let's do some happy thoughts. What I'd like to do in this case is to kick it off. We're really grateful for what we've been doing, what we're able to do, and the thanks that we've been getting from the community. So I'm going to kick that off, and then Larry will take us through a bit of, this is all real. This is all absolute real stuff. This is not a dress rehearsal. This is absolutely real. And for the last couple of weeks, and we'll get even more serious. Small Business Administration and the PPP update from Larry. Director reports from Kathy. Welcome, Charles. So we have our new member induction with Sharon. And then and Molly, you had asked earlier, we, a week ago or so, seems like forever, we formed the Whidbey Rotary PPE task force.
Fine, just make myself some dinner.
Okay, somebody's talking. And we're gonna find out that we're having dinner.
Rotary right now.
Jiminy crickets.
Well, yeah, it works out. It's gonna work.
Okay, and so Bruce will take us through that, and then Jack as well, and then Carol, we'd like you to share your thoughts and ideas and needs, and then Q&A. So we had, and then I'm going to go back to our gallery screen, but we had thank you letters from when we dropped off, had the goods delivered at the elementary school. And Jim was there, Alex, myself, Kathy, and we wrote a check. So one of the things that we did was to contribute. And so these are some of the thank you cards we got that I want to just post as a happy thought. Awesome. And another one, of course, is the, we are people of action, and we continue to do that. And we've given 3 checks, like immediately right out of the chute, to the 3 organizations here. And Carol's gonna talk a little bit about it. So then Larry will talk about the PPP and a small business, and then Bruce will talk about the consortium that we started officially. So let's go back to I'm going to take this off so we can see each other. And
'Cause we've had a lot of people hop in since then. Looks like George and Marion are here, and Ron is here, and Doug Coots is here. So welcome, everybody.
good.
Thank you.
Excellent. So how about right now, let's look at any other happy thoughts. We can, hey, Ron.
Not right now.
I have a happy thought.
Yeah.
I have a new puppy.
Yay!
Sweet. What other happy thoughts do we have here?
I have one.
I have a suggestion. I have a suggestion that I got from one of our relatives in Italy with regard to being able to make face masks. What you do is you take a sanitary napkin, put it sideways. This one of the sideways napkins, one of the sideways sticky parts goes over your nose, the other one goes on your chin, and the other two go by your ears. It works.
That sounds disgusting.
You don't use a used one, John.
Thanks, Hank. We don't know how to thank you, really.
Does that meet the 4-way test?
Well, I have one.
It does.
A neighbor of mine has a Miele vacuum cleaner, and those have HEPA filters, and so she made me a mask with a vacuum cleaner filter.
You know, I have the best solution so far is getting 50 masks from Jack.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jack.
Thank you, Jack.
The HEPA filters have chemicals in them and you're not supposed to use them.
Oh,
wow.
really?
Face mask you can make.
Yeah.
Tracy, can you hear everybody?
Yeah, I can now.
Okay.
That's a great picture, Jack.
I also saw a mask made. I also saw a mask made by an auto mechanic who took an air filter from his automobile, which is curved, and put two strings on it, cut it in half, put two strings on either side, and uses that. But that's the auto mechanic's mask of choice.
That green show.
I just take duct tape and stick it over my mouth and nose. Is that bad?
Try it. Yeah. Show us. No.
Doug, I take it you saw that cartoon that was routing around.
Oh my gosh. Anybody else with happy thoughts?
I have a happy thought.
Okay.
I am so happy to see Marion here for 2 meetings in a week. Hi, Marion. I miss you.
Hi, Marion.
I'm so glad to see you.
All right, go for it, Bill.
My cousin, who's a doctor, came out of retirement and runs a clinic which was going under for the poor in Santa Barbara. And I called him and said, if I got you 50 masks, would that help you? I thought he was going to cry. He was so delighted that, I mean, they are so short, and he had just turned the clinic around from not going out of business and was about ready to go back into retirement, got called back in, and now he's running the place, but he said they are so short. So Jack, thank you so much for the opportunity.
Wow.
Welcome.
Spring just hopped on. We're getting her audio going. So,
Speaking,
yeah,
one more part.
I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm sorry, John, what did you ask? How many do we have? We are up to 41. No, wait a minute.
29.
29, but there's doubles. So about 32, 33, because we got doubles in there too.
Fantastic.
Hey, back to the mask question. I just got an email. I just got an email that South Whidbey High School is closed. I'm wondering if like many schools, and this would help you, Ron, like many schools, they have a supply of masks that they use in their nurses' stations at school. I'm wondering if there's any of those. Since school is now closed for the year, I'm wondering if you could check with Coopville and with South Whidbey and with maybe even Oak Harbor and see if they have any extra masks.
Hank, are they for sure closed through the end of the year?
That's what we heard
Yeah.
today.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, that was official. That was official today, this afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, happy thoughts. Anybody else needs happy thoughts?
Got one.
Doug's got one.
I'm outside in the sunshine throwing a ball for my dog in the middle of the Rotary meeting, drinking a beer, and I've got jalapeno poppers in the smoker. So
What could be better?
what's not to be happy about? It's sunshiny. It's beautiful. Come on.
There
I
you
don't
go.
like you people. Darn you.
I want to raise
Alrighty.
Hey, Ron, just swing by my house. I'll throw a popper at you as you drive by.
Hey, I see Jack's on there. Jack and the rest of the Rotary, you guys rocked it. When you delivered all those face masks and gloves, you should have heard the staff just really appreciate that they felt really comfortable and feel really that the community was helping them out and understanding that the tough times we were having. So I truly appreciated it. And I know it's on our Facebook. I know it's on your Facebook and on Rotary's. I know it's personally on mine. So I appreciate it all.
You're welcome. Thank you for doing what you do, Ron.
Thank you.
Can I give a toast?
Sure.
Give a toast to George for having a wonderful Whidbey Telecom that allows us to have this type of get together, because without him, we wouldn't be able to do this. George, thank you so much. Give a toast to you.
Sure.
Here.
To George and Marion.
And Marion,
And
yeah.
Marion. Don't forget Marion.
Yeah, and the other surgeon, are you saying the woman looks tired?
All right. So
Okay, you ready, Gwen?
I am. It's like a video
Thank you.
game with all your faces.
All right. Good. Well, it was a good happy hour thoughts area there. And let's go. I'm going to put this back up for a minute. And Larry, maybe you could talk to this, please.
Okay.
Let me get it teed up here. And there we go.
Okay, I've been having trouble with my screen freezing up on me once in a while. So if this gets difficult, let me know. I didn't have any trouble last week. But I'd start out, since it was a little bit confusing with happy thoughts, I'll start out with my happy thought. And that is last week, my son in West Seattle, worked for Amazon, was woke up to 102-degree temperature, fever. After a couple of discussions with his doctor, and his doctor found out by asking the right question, I guess, and that is because he wasn't having a respiratory problem. So he found out that my son's wife is pregnant and had been into her OB 2 days before. So they were really concerned that she might have carried something, got it and carried it or something. So they definitely wanted him to get tested just to make sure. So the long and the short of it was, it took like 3 days to get the test results, but he got that big stab in the nose and came out negative. And by Saturday, he was back and healthy. And he was, after 5 days of being isolated in the basement of their house, the downstairs of their house, where the 2 bedrooms are, and the shower's upstairs, they were all happy to be together again.
Yay.
So anyway, so I for a couple of reasons, I've had to dig into this called PPP program. It's a Paycheck Protection Program. My son up on Friday Harbor is a CPA. he spent about 30 hours of his time in the middle of tax season last week dealing with his business clients, all trying to figure out how they're not just going to get through to the virus, but how they're going to get through a recovery when 80% of their business in San Juan Island is tourist related. And so he gave me a few links of things. So, and I know that Jane had sent out the information sheet. I doubt if many of you read it because you may not fall into the category, but just briefly to save anybody time and just the things that if you're not using it, you're going to be paying for it. So you might as well know what it's about. Basically, it's to cover payroll costs, mortgage interest, rent for a business, and utility costs for up to 8 weeks. So it's an initial loan. It's also capped at a per employee rate, and it's only for I think the 8 weeks. This is just right now authorized for 8 weeks. Then you can also get an additional amount. 25% of the loan can be, only 25% of the loan can be used for non-payroll expenses. The cap, according to the information form that was sent out, that it's actually the government issue, says it's capped at $100,000 per employee annualized. And it was really very confusing. But basically what you have to do is it's up to for an employee making up to 100,000, but it's annualized. In other words, if you take what their payroll was last year, divide it by 12, and figure out 8 weeks worth of it, and that's all you can get for that employee. The assumption is that employee should probably take a reduction in their payroll for the period of kind of sharing the hurt. The loan payments, if you have loan payments, they can be deferred for 6 months. But the caveat is that you have to keep your staff and payroll for it to be forgiven. It'll be forgiven when it's all over, but you got to make sure you know what the rules are. If you follow the rules, you can reduce their hours, but no more than 25%, or reduce their pay or hours, however you want to look at it. But if you reduce them more than 25%, even you can lose the forgiveness part of it. Not all of it, but at least some of it. So and Jane sent out the application form along with the instructions. If you don't want to have to dig that up, you can email me. I'll send you a link, or however you want to get a hold of it. I didn't want to take a lot of time on this. But for others that don't have employees, and for self-employed people that don't have employees, or nonprofits and homeowners, and even renters and landlords, there's certain other disaster assistance that you can get. And I'll just speak to the business part right now. So if you don't have any employees, you're not going to qualify for the PPP, but you can get a grant from the SBA assistance that can be later forgiven for to make your mortgage payment, or for making any mortgage commitments, utilities, things like that. If you show, it's really hard to get all the right instructions on that one, but you can get up to $10,000, basically just to get you through the 8 weeks, 2 months that the period of this is. So if you can't pay your rent, if you've got, there's part of that package also requires the bank, with it holding your mortgage, to defer your mortgage payments. And for example, they can defer it for 2 months and then add it on to make the loan 2 months longer. So you don't have to pay it back immediately. They just add 2 months on to the end, at the end of the loan. And anyway, but you can get on that at, I would just suggest you look at SBA, go to, oh, shoot.
Hey, Larry,
Yeah.
I just put the link in the chat window. I've
Okay.
already done it for our business. It's
Okay.
the SBA CARES Act for small business and self-employment
Right.
gig workers. So I just put the link in the chat window.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead and add that to the bulletin and that link. So if anybody wants more information, Larry, I'll go ahead and put your contact and then that link as well in the bulletin, if that's
Sure.
okay with you.
But it's called a COVID-19 Economic Injury Disaster Loan.
Right. Thank you, Larry. And the reason I wanted to have this brought up, and Larry in particular with his background, is that we're all aware of that. Like, again, early on, we're people of action and we take care of our own as well. So it may or may not apply to anyone here. I think it might, but it might be to our friends and our neighbors. So I believe it's just really important to get that information out fast. Larry, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. And director reports, we have Kathy.
What?
Jack has
Jack has a question. Yeah.
Can I add on to that?
Yes.
I want to add on to the PPP, the paycheck program thing. It came out last Friday, but I got the information last Wednesday, and I got a paperwork filled out with my CPA, and we submitted it Friday morning. And over the weekend, they changed a new application for the SBA. And so I actually got with my banker 6 o'clock this morning. We apply again. We did the applications, new form. We submitted it in about 9 o'clock, and I got a full approved by the SBA by 1 o'clock this afternoon.
Wow.
So I was one of probably the luckiest one, because there's not going to be all this money out there for everybody.
Yeah.
And they're going to want our money pretty fast. I heard, Cecilia, you just apply for online. That's not the way to do it. You have to, unless you talk about the Commerce grant, the $10,000 grant.
Yeah, the grant, because
you can,
we're sole proprietorship.
Yeah, you can get that too online, but if you're going to do the PPP, you have to go to your own bank that you bank with.
Right.
So you can't go straight to SBA. So make sure you work really close with your bank if you trying to get that form. Otherwise, you're not going to get nowhere, because I already knew the new application came out on the weekend, but a lot of my friends that owns a business, they didn't even get the memo. They didn't get the email from the bank till like this afternoon with the new applications.
Yeah, I was talking, this is Janice, and I was talking to a guy who's been in touch with the feds, and their estimate is that only 20 to 25% are likely to get this initial qualification. The money is going to be gone by the end of the week, they predict.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think there'll be another round. The other thing that everybody should know is you should open up another bank account and not commingle the funds, because this is going to have a lot of rigorous compliance around it, just so people know.
Got the same advice too from the Fed.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, when I caught wind of it, that's why I got it to Jane to get out to everyone. And that was Thursday. It was the day after it was announced, and it wouldn't be effective until the next day, Friday. And Jack, you were right on it. So that's the purpose of getting it out to our membership here. Thank you very much. Director reports, Kathy?
Yes, I have several things, but probably the most important is our vote on the Rotary Club of Whidbey Westside bylaw revisions.
Woohoo!
Everybody raise a glass.
It's been out to the membership now twice. The last time has been over 10 days, so they've had opportunity. We do have a quorum. We need 13 people to have a quorum, and I'm sure we have at least that of our members that will be able to vote. And I would say that I can answer any questions, any comments, and then maybe we just ask for those who don't approve it or who abstain, rather than trying to capture. I'm hoping that will be 0, rather than trying to capture everybody who does approve it. But however you want to manage that.
So Gwen?
So you're out there, any questions?
I mean, it's we have a quorum and there's a lot of people here. It can be easy as putting up a thumbs up and saying aye, and I can take a photograph of that if that meets
Sure.
that meets the board approval. If everybody has a thumbs up, we can take a vote and just
You see
keep
how to
it
do a
moving along.
thumbs up? Reaction at the bottom, very right, reactions, 2 reactions. Thumbs up.
Look at this.
There you go.
Or your thumbs up.
You only get 1 thumbs up, sorry.
Or I don't
All
understand
right.
about it.
Hey,
All right.
Spring, put your thumb up.
Yes.
If you wish to vote, yes.
Yes, some thumbs up.
Jane, is yours up or not? No, everybody's thumbs
All right.
up?
Yeah, I think,
Okay,
Kathy, if that meets
Snapchat.
your approval.
Okay.
That's fine with me. Are there any no's? Because we would need to maybe address that, or anybody who abstained. That's all we need.
I don't
Okay.
have anything.
Seeing there's no no's.
Oh my God, I'm done.
All right. In fact, I even have thumbs up.
Doug, that just is not fair.
All right.
What's he doing?
Yeah, enough.
Okay.
Okay, what else, Kathy? Kathy, let's.
One is the
Kathy
service
has
above,
something else.
yes. Service above self nominations will be due by April 15th.
Okay.
I sent out the nomination forms. I've received one. Thank you very much. And I'll be happy to take others. So if anybody has a nominee for the Service Above Self Award for a non-Rotarian in our community who meets our definition of service above self, please let me know and I'll help you with the application if you need it.
Kathy, what was that date
secondly-
again? I'm sorry. What was the date? April 15th. Thank you.
Kathy, I have somebody I'd like to nominate, and I would love some assistance with the application form.
Okay, just message me or email me and I'll help you with that.
Great, thank you.
And I wanted to report on our finances. At the current time, at the end of March, our bank account for the foundation, we have a balance of $21,681.91. I also wanted to report that our contributions to Rotary International, we put as our goal $7,500, $6,000 to the annual fund, and $1,500 to Polio Plus. Have exceeded our goal for the annual fund. We've donated $6,605 as a club. However, we're slightly short on the Polio Plus. We have donated $1,355 of the $1,500 that we pledged. So we're just $155 short of that. And we still have 3 to go, so I know we're gonna make that. And the very last thing is our quarterly drawing for $50 towards your Paul Harris. You know that we ask every month, or every week when we meet, are you wearing your pin? And if you're wearing your pin, Jane records it, she sends that information to me, and I write a ticket out with your name on it every time that you have come to a meeting on your pin. Or if somebody rats on a Rotarian and says, I saw Jane Helton at the nursery 2 weeks ago and she was wearing her Rotary pin, then Jane gets another ticket. So anytime you wear your Rotary pin at a meeting when it's counted, or if somebody rats on you and says that you've worn it, you get a ticket. So tonight we're going to draw if you'll allow Jim to draw. Hold that up so they can see. We've got all the tickets in here for the third quarter drawing. Sharon won the first quarter. Virginia won the second quarter. So.
Oh, I can't take it. I drew.
Oh,
mine.
he drew his own name.
I'm not
All
doing
right,
that.
draw again.
How do we know they don't all say Jim Rogers?
Because this one says Janice.
Janice Mashallah. $50 is going towards your Paul Harris. Now you have the option of donating that to the annual fund or Polio Plus. I would hope you would donate it to Polio Plus, but it's your choice.
She's not twisting your arm at all, though.
I think it should go to Polio Plus.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Janice. And I'll send you the documentation that went in under your name. That's all I have, John.
Oh, sorry. God bless America. Sorry, John. Go ahead.
What?
All right.
Gwen?
Yeah.
What?
You're
what-
you're unmuted, John.
Yeah, I know, but you wanted to stop the vote there for a second?
Oh, no. I was trying to unmute and mute people. Sorry.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm
Okay.
just playing my rodeo video game. Please,
Oh,
as
gotcha,
you were.
gotcha. Okay, good. Well, we have a new member. Actually, Charles has been around a while, and we're officially doing a virtual induction. So Sharon, if you could take it, that would be great.
Oh, I am so excited to take it. I want to call Charles our Zoom member, but I don't think there is such a word.
Zoom member?
So whatever. It is really my pleasure to introduce Charles and John. Thank you. You are his sponsor. We obviously know it's been very hard to get to know anyone who applies for membership in our Rotary Club in the last few months. Charles had things at work. Obviously, we are not having meetings, so it has been a real challenge. So Charles has prepared a brief introduction for all of you who have not yet had a chance to meet him. So Gwen and Charles, hit the video, and Charles is going to introduce himself.
Actually,
Charles.
Sharon, Charles, do you still want us to play the video, or would you like to?
No, I think I'll just talk.
Okay. All right.
Okay, oh, there you are.
But Sharon, can I just say that was the best lead-in ever. And Charles, I will go ahead and put the link in our bulletin to the wonderful video that you put together.
Hey, my video was rather low production value, so
I think it's awesome.
I'm gonna go with myself. Although I can hit share screen to show some pottery if that would help. And I arrived here on Whidbey Island in July, and I worked for Island Senior Resources as their Director of Development. I raised $2.5 million a year from individuals and others, and 1.7 million from the government to raise the 4.2 million we need to do the work we do. As you can imagine right now, given that our work is caring for the elderly and Meals on Wheels and those who are caregivers, we're pretty busy, and we're in disaster response mode right now, and we're working that disaster response plan. So it's, like everybody else, it's 12-hour days. But I came here from the church. I was in the Episcopal Church, most recently as the canon of the cathedral in Denver, Colorado, where I had 5,000 congregants. And but I've most of my life I've been a fundraiser. I've been a fundraiser for 30 years. Starting out at in Haiti during the Duvalier and post-Duvalier revolution, and then as vice president of the YMCA for development and communications and strategic planning. In my 20s and 30s in Richmond, Virginia, for a metro system of 15 YMCAs. Raised 25 million there, and then moved to seminary and became an Episcopal priest and then entered a monastery, a cloistered monastery at Harvard Square in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And I did my novitiate for 3 years and decided at the end of it, I was sent to Katrina as the chaplain to the morgue, the disaster morgue. That month changed me dramatically. I was responsible for the care of the morticians of the 1,000 corpses that went to Louisiana's morgue. And when I came back, I was a very different person. So I left the monastery and went back into parish ministry, and was the canon for Gene Robinson in New Hampshire, and was caring for his 48 churches, and then Colorado, and then a little bit of a stint in Albuquerque when I was just kind of getting my bearings, having left the church. I wrote 2 books about raising money, and then a 3rd book about the spiritual life in the last 3 years. And I've written a daily sip, which is sort of a daily meditation, 900 of them in the last 10 years, which will be a book next fall. And I'm currently writing a manuscript on busyness as an addiction, busyness as an American addiction. So I write my books in the morning, and I raise money for Island Senior Resources during the day. And I'm a potter of 35 years. Actually 40 years now that I think of it. I have a studio here in Langley. I live in Langley, just outside of Langley. And I have a studio within walking distance, and I sell my work in various galleries. Most recently at Wicca, actually. A show in October. And I'm interested in Rotary. I was raised in Montreal by diplomatic parents. My mother was was with the World Bank, and my father was with the International Civil Aviation Organization. They were both diplomats serving different arenas, but they taught me how to lead, and they taught me how to listen for what's not being said, and they taught me how to write and speak carefully. And so, you know, I think that being involved in the Rotary will be an opportunity for me to meet people and for me to offer whatever leadership skills I have, and contribute to the community outside my regular job. It's my desire to create beauty, to raise money that eases suffering, and to write books that inspire and comfort. So that's pretty much who I am.
Wow.
Oh, that's fantastic. Does anyone have any questions of Charles? Anything, couple of questions, any thoughts?
I just want to say that I'm pretty impressed, Charles. That's a lot. You've done a lot.
Don't be. It's just what happens when you have a work addiction.
Yeah. And your new book, right?
I have to say that, Charles, I want to thank you for making an induction very easy, because normally we try to introduce you, and since life has changed for all of us, you have introduced yourself, and I really appreciate that. And you are probably one of the most diversely talented people that we have had join our club in a while. A writer, a potter, a former clergy person, you work with the senior services. I mean, most of us can't come close to that. So thank you so very much. You know that you are joining over 1.2 million Rotarians worldwide. You are welcome there. And of course, you are extremely welcome here. I have several things to give you that I would normally give you, or John and I would give you at a meeting. However, this is a very unique meeting. So I would like to show you some of the things that I will be putting in a little bag and bringing to your office at a time that you and I will agree on. And I can put them by the door hermetically sealed and can pick them up. So I have your Rotary shirt, and it has your name badge and your Rotary badge and your Whidbey Westside Rotary shirt, which will be available very soon. I also have for you a folder which has a lot of information about Rotary, including a little form to record your happy thoughts, the basics of Rotary, the 4-way test, and other Rotary information that if you have trouble sleeping some night, I think you can probably knock it out before you fall asleep. And lastly, we always come forward and kind of make a semicircle and we welcome you. We can't do that tonight, so I'm hoping that everyone here will welcome our newest member, Charles LaFond, with a huge rounds of applause, and we are so happy to have you with us, Charles. Thank you.
I'm very glad to be here, and I'm glad to be among you, and I look forward to making friends with you, and I look forward to learning from you. I'm very happy to live in Langley, where I have access on this cliff to very great beauty, and I'm very glad to work in Freeland, where I have access to China City and really great food. And between the two, I'm happy as a clam.
It's a clam. That's fantastic. Welcome, Charles. You're the best. And Sharon, is that our 39th?
39 right now.
Really? Awesome, Sharon. Good job.
We're gonna make
39.
40.
Well, that's fantastic.
It's 38, Sharon. It's actually
39.
Magic numbers. Welcome, Charles. I would like to now go to Bruce and Jack. If you could bring us up to speed on the formation of the Whidbey Rotary PPE Task Force, and Jack, how you really instigated this about a week ago, a little over maybe 10 days ago. And then Bruce, how you got us the 4 together and what we've been doing, and with Ron, and then also to segue into Carol and Good Cheer. So Bruce, why don't you take it off, and then Jack add, and then we'll take it from there, okay?
Okay. Hi, everybody. This is a fantastic opportunity. Charles, welcome to the Rotary family. That's what we are. I'll let Jack and Steve talk about the contributions that we did with the masks. I just want to say one thing. Rotary family, we also have our own family. Yesterday, my daughter sponsored a Zoom meeting of our family all around the country. It was amazing to get everybody together. We're all separate. There's going to be a lot of mental health issues, maybe not with us, but people we know. And if we can reach out to those people, not only our Rotary members, we really want to reach out to them, but other people you know, just to see how they're doing, what they need. Do you need to give them just a hug, an air hug or something? Because this it's not going to get better for a while. It's going to get worse. And we really need to stay together. And all we can do is just call and reach out to each other, maybe pass each other up at Green Bank. Like today, Mary and I were up there. Again, we're so lucky to live on a beautiful island like this with the mountains on either side and beautiful air. But reach out to your friends, reach out to your family, and don't forget them and get them what they need. So Jack, I'll let you go ahead and talk about your great experience you had on Friday. And Steve, you can chime in anytime you want.
Sorry, I just went out of battery, so just charge again. I say just gone. Like my wife has face masks. About late January, I was sending face masks to China because nobody in China can get face masks. and it was so expensive. It would cost me $500 to send 400 face masks to China because of shipping. And that was end of January. So by middle of February, our friends in China is mailing face masks to us. And my wife got about 800 face masks and from China. Then like she was just prepared. She was well prepared. And when things getting worse and worse, and everybody's asking me for face masks, and we couldn't buy anything that time and online. And what my wife bought back in January, it was about 10 times the price we can find late February. So we started sending, stuff in from my staff, my family, my kitchen staff, and my employee use. And I started thinking, all the hospital around the country, shortening face masks and N95s and all that stuff. And my wife has connection in China. Her friends owns factories and that kind of business. And it's actually really hard to get it from China either. And that's why I tell my club, maybe we should get some grant money and buy some face masks, help out the Whidbey Journal from small, because I got 3 or 4 people ask me from Children's Hospital, Swedish Hospital, UW Medical Hospital. So we donate a few hundred the KN95 face masks to them. So I talked to our club, and our club, everybody agreed right away. And I asked John Mock to help me out and to get our club going. And he had got our club, everybody to agree. Then the next thing, we had a booth to contact all 4 of the club president, and the next day, and we got a conference call, I think the next couple of days, and everybody agreed right away. So there's a really good teamwork. After that, Steve from Oak Harbor, the president of Oak Harbor Club, has been really helpful. He's been taking a lot of lead and doing a lot of email back and forth, organizing and calling the hospital and doing that. And so we got about 10,000 shipped in a couple of days ago, and 8,500 to go to Whidbey General Hospital. So that was good. And we got a few thousand in for ourselves. We're gonna donate to UW Medical for me and my wife, and also our friends that they donate a few thousand too. Also, they locally, they don't live here. They only live here once they only come here a couple of times a year. They had a house in East Harbor called a Coal Club. You could probably go down to East Harbor with the big green gate. So those are the people who donate a few thousand for us and to donate to the hospital. And since then, I know everybody's gonna need a face mask, and because everybody in China is getting a face mask, still wearing a face mask. So I thought it'd be a good idea for our members should have some backup, because we don't know what this is coming. This is just the beginning, and country's low in face masks. And with what our President Trump, about a couple of weeks ago, every time he come up to the TV, he always called the Chinese virus. So a lot of Chinese factories refuse to sell it to the American companies. So that's why we having a hard time to get the N95s and all that stuff. I mean, me and my wife can get the N95. We can get all the face masks we want. It just, when you try to get it here shipping so fast, the shipping costs are so expensive. So, I mean, we got the whole world fighting for face masks in China. China is the only one really supplying the face masks for the whole world. My wife's friend just got an order from Germany for 100 million pieces of N95. And they came in with the military cargo plane and just paid cash for it. So it's like, you can't even wait to bid the price. That's why the prices keep going up so hard, and nobody can get face masks right now, because they don't need to sell to America. That's the thing. So that's why we're short. So I'm going to hand this over to Steve. If you guys have a question, you guys are welcome to ask me.
Okay, so we started with masks, but shortly after that, we decided we also needed gloves, and we could get gloves stateside. Well, actually, we can get gloves from Jack's supplier. So the first delivery was masks and gloves. And subsequently, we checked for gowns, because I'm working with Harry Hahn. He's the procurement director at the hospital. And he said, masks were number one, gowns were number two. I go online, Amazon Prime, gowns, $4. We go to China, $20. You know, I just couldn't afford it. So we moved on. Next thing the hospital needed were goggles. I can get those online, went Amazon Prime, got them down to like $2 a set, but it's a matter of delivery now. So I don't know when I'm gonna get them, but as soon as I do, I'll take them to the hospital. Next was disinfectant wipes. That didn't quite happen yet, as well as the protective masks that we were disposable shields. But what we were able to do, Jack donated a whole bunch of Everclear alcohol. And so with Aaron at the Island Drug, they're making disinfectant spray bottles for the Island Department of Emergency Management. So all the firefighters, 80% of their calls are medical. All the firefighters can use a disinfectant spray after their calls, which is critical because they're really short. So that's where we're at right now.
Great. Ron, do you want to chip in?
Ron, where are you on ventilators? Where are you on ventilator needs too?
Hold on. John, Ron, why are you not unplugging? I know.
I don't know.
There you go.
Hello.
There you are, honey.
Hey.
There you go.
Whew. I was getting all worried there. So someone asked a question. I don't know what it was.
How are you? If you could chime in.
Someone said ventilators.
Yeah.
That was the weekend fun I had. So last week we received from the federal storage of 10 brand new ventilators, which we are like, that's wonderful. We had, because we currently have 4. We've had 4 patients on ventilators at one time. We now have half of that. But then we got a call Saturday at the hospital that the Department of Health, Washington, wants to take them all back. Because they have needs in New York and elsewhere, which is not exactly what we wanted to hear, since we don't know where the crest is or the surge is going to happen or not. I will have to tell you that I reached out to our commissioners, St. Clair and Norma Smith. I reached out to our Congressman Larson. I reached out to the Governor Inslee and his staff, Senator Murray and Cantwell, and all of them responded almost within 24 hours on a phone call to me. Want to know the situation, want to go what's going on. In fact, late last night, around 7 o'clock, I got a call from Vice Admiral Bono, who is the one in charge of our COVID-19 situation here in the state of Washington, and said we could have as many ventilators as we want. She heard our pleas, she heard our issues. So that was obviously a relief. We came back, met our medical staff, met our trauma staff here, and because, which is very interesting, we feel like this is the week that's going to be potentially big or not. We have not seen that big increase. Talking to Providence, talking to Peace Health, they have been stable for the last 2 weeks, meaning that they've only had, they had the same amount of COVID patients for the last 2 weeks. And so they think they've met their crest, their peak of their wave. We are going to give back 6 of the 10 so they could use them rightfully so in different parts of our country who really need them. With the suggestion from Vice Admiral Bono that if we need more, she will get us more. So we are pretty well connected. I'm pretty impressed with our legislative folks. We have pretty impressed with Vice Admiral Bono. She was very intelligent. Her credentials are pretty impressive. And for her to call us and make sure that our community is safe, pretty good. So I will want to say, like Steve said, our gown situation is an issue right now. We have about 7 days left of gowns. We're making our own gowns right here with plastic. If we have to come to that, we'll use that just as a barrier of air droplets, a barrier of any sort of droplets that may go onto the clothes of our clinicians. So we're making our own if we have to. We have 700 right now, and we're making some every day.
Hey, this is Steve. I'd like to chip in. One of the reasons we pass on the gowns is we heard garbage bags, the big black garbage bags. You cut out one for the neck and a couple for the arms, and away we go. Who cares what you look like as long as you're protected?
You're absolutely right. We looked at garbage bags. We actually went to Home Depot and got some a little bit thicker plastics.
Right.
And they're big rolls. We just put them in half. We use a kind of an air blower, air dryer to merge the two together to cut them out around of a body, and it works. And Home Depot gave about $500 worth of plastics for free.
Yeah. Yes, you should know that the manager at Home Depot up here is a Rotarian. You know, Carver.
Next time I see him, I'm gonna say hi because he's been very generous.
He's it's Jeff Beagley. I should also note that I called Brad Whitaker. He's the district governor, 50-50, a friend of mine. He came down to my induction and said, hey, we need some more money. Where's the money from the district conference that was canceled? Boom, $5,000 more. I said, hey, contact Rotary International. Their conference was canceled. So he put in for $25,000 as well. So we might get a lot of money from Rotary International. So hold on tight.
That's fantastic news.
That is absolutely fantastic. Thank you, Steve.
Well, this is the power of Rotary, and that's why we formed the consortium. At least the task force would be Rotary PPE Task Force, and under the leadership of Bruce and the 4 presidents, which represent all of Rotary on our island, and together we are changing things. So we've given in the last week, geez, more than a week ago now, $40,000 to 3 organizations, and Carol will talk in a second. And then in addition to that, we formed under the leadership of Bruce with Steve and the other presidents, the consortium, and we've given, well, each Rotary Club kicked in $2,000, very generous. And then based on Steve's arm twisting with Brad, or Brad saw the light because he's a smart man, and said, heck, we're not spending money up in BC, so let's give it out. And he did. And so he was on one of our conference calls last week. Now,
I have a question for.
Go ahead.
I have a question for Ron.
Sure,
Ron, where are you with test kits?
We're doing pretty good with test kits. We have about, we have about 700 test kits, and our tent that we're providing, we were seeing up to 40 a day. It's now dropped down to 20. There really is this slowing, and we're all like about to celebrate, but we don't want to jinx it. We don't know what's going on. We don't know if this is the calm before the storm, or is this really kind of on the downward side. So we don't know, but the volume that we're testing is a lot less.
Okay, one other question, and that is, what's being done, or do you have any guidance from the CDC on retesting patients who tested positive but continue to be asymptomatic?
Who tested negative or tested positive?
Who tested positive but continue to be asymptomatic.
I'm not aware of that one. I know
Okay.
I know there are times.
That's the situation with a number of folks over at CareAge right now. They tested positive about 15 days ago, and so they're getting ready to test them again. And I was just curious as to what the process is, or do you have any guidance, or have they given you any guidance from the CDC as to how to figure out whether or not somebody can be released from quarantine?
Yeah, there is a lot of research right now being done on how accurate the testing actually is. It's all we have right now. There is a lot of false negatives, which is more concerning. than the testing positive and still being asymptomatic. But so we, again, we don't test unless you have symptoms here. And but all I can say is the idea of staying in your shelter, staying safe, staying healthy, staying 6 feet away. We're all wearing masks here in the hospital, even myself, when we walk around. And I'm in the hospital right now, but because I'm in my office, I don't. But it is very, very contagious. It is. And so that's why the angst. I'm not too sure about the test positive, Hank.
Okay. Well, maybe I can
Thank you,
talk to you
Ron.
offline later on.
Yeah, thank you. Carol, you really appreciate your patience. We always have a lot to cover, and you are very, very important. You received $14,000 from our club. And what we did under the guidance of the project committee suggested, hey, we've got money allocated from our fall projects and some from our spring projects, which are in the spring right now, and let's do something with it. So we did, and that's $40,000. And again, that's based on the fundraising from TI as heading that up, and all the contributions and the hard work of the whole club in Rotary Whidbey Westside. And we recognize the partnerships with our other Rotary clubs on the island. And so we pour our hearts out, and as service above self, and an example is you as a recipient for good cheer. So we are just humble and at your service, and honored to be able to help you. And so welcome, and maybe you could share something with us.
Thank you, John. Wow. But for the record, it didn't require any patience to sit and listen to the amazing activities that you all are doing. I am so impressed and really quite overwhelmed. I'm continually overwhelmed by the community on South Whidbey. It's been blowing me away. I mean, your donation, I took the check and I kind of ran it around with my mask on, but in the food bank, and showed it to everybody that was working. And every single thing that we get like this is raising the spirits of my team. Wow, but you guys are such an active force for good in this community. Congratulations for being who you are. I don't know what to tell you about Good Cheer, except that we are seeing every day new families signing up. We are collaborating very closely with WIN and with the South Whidbey School District and with Senior Services so that we can collaborate on deliveries. We have, Good Cheer is the one place where all of the people that are struggling, they all come to Good Cheer. If they're seniors, they also are seen by Senior Services. If they're families with children, they also are helped by WIN and the school district. So we're doing our best to coordinate with all of those groups. For example, we just did a survey. We did a phone survey. It's in process, of every single person that has ever come to the food bank in the last few years. We want to make sure they're okay. We want to make sure they have correct information on all the services available to them, whether they're through Senior Services or through the school districts. We want to make sure that they have a backup plan if suddenly they can't get out of their home. If they need a delivery, do they have the right phone numbers? So we're in the process of doing that with the school district, actually. Readiness to Learn has staff that are being paid anyway, so they're doing it for us, all with confidentiality. We only give them ID numbers, we confirm addresses, etc. What keeps me up at night, besides, like Charles said, you guys are only doing 12-hour days? I could beat you on that one. I think we're doing 16, 7 through 7. We've already put in our applications for the PPP and for the SBA EIDL, because we know that, hopefully the virus will start slowing down, but the economic impacts of this are really going to be a long haul for a lot of people.
And our food sources through the food aggregators are they're going to emergency mode, which means they're going to be giving just boxes of food and not the sort of variety that we were able to source before. So we're going to be buying a lot more food. And yeah, we've stopped all volunteers because we didn't think it was safe for them. Most of them are quite elderly. They're not very good with following the PPE instructions that we are being very, very rigorous about. So we're doing it with staff only, and about a third of the number of people that usually are serving, we are doing with our staff instead of a lot of volunteers. So I don't know, does anybody have any questions? I know I've already gone over the time. Your meeting ended 5 minutes ago.
You're right. You're fine. You're fine, Carol. This
I
is
have
important.
a question, Carol. What is it that you all need? Is there anything that we can be doing other than that check that would be helpful to you?
You know, we're like I said, okay right now. We're stocked for food, and we have people making a lot of masks for us out of cloth, and we're trying to give them out as soon as we get them so that all of our shoppers also have them. You know that normally we get very few grants because we are supported exclusively by the thrift stores. The 2 Good Cheer thrift stores provide up to 80% of our revenues. And with the 2 thrift stores closed, we have 0 revenues. So obviously, you know, this is going to be a long haul rather than it's an emergency now, and it's been an emergency to put all the new steps in place and change all of our procedures, and but it's going to turn into a very long slog, I'm afraid. Because even the revenues, once the stores get open, they won't be enough for the increased numbers of families now that are going to be depending on us. So that's sort of the situation. I think it's going to be money for a long time, actually.
Any other questions of Carol or Steve or Bruce or anyone?
Hey, Carol. Jack King from China City. I got a question I want to ask you.
Okay, thanks for your rice, by the way.
I haven't delivered it yet. I need to. Yeah, I'm planning to deliver you 10 bags of rice. So I have it. So I just haven't had time to bring it over yet. I was going to ask you, my produce company has a lot of produce, and all of a sudden all the customers shut down, so they got a lot of produce left. I just want to know, do you take any produce? If I can ask them to donate some?
Absolutely. I mean, our food bank shoppers eat better than most of us. They get a lot of organic produce. We have more produce than we do non-perishables.
Okay.
So that would be awesome. And in fact, if I'll get in touch with you and get the number, because, you know, we have shortages of some things and excesses of others. So it would be really great to collaborate with her.
Okay, sounds good.
I have a question.
All right, thanks, Jack.
Celia has a question. Celia?
Well, two things. Gwen and I are getting ready to plant our garden, and last year we did the thing. We had a little sign. It said, "This row is planted for good cheer."
Awesome.
Is there a specific need, like of something that you know you're going to need that we can plant? So we're expanding our garden to take care of ourselves and planting extra to be able to share. So
to plant for a purpose.
That
So
would,
we'll-
you know,
we'll take
the
our
one
orders.
thing, the one thing we can't grow in our garden because we have a certain kind of disease is all the brassifers. So we can't grow broccoli, for example, and all the related plants. So if you could grow any of those for us, that would be incredible.
Great.
All right.
And the other thing is, are there other areas of that you have volunteer need that we as our Rotary Club of Whidbey Westside might be able to volunteer for?
Well, at this point, we're not using volunteers because we can't have too many people in the premises because we have to keep the 6 feet of distance, and we're making lists of drivers in case the delivery need picks up. But if Ron's correct and the curve is is flattening, then we won't have too many people that are in quarantine and we won't have to do too many deliveries. But if people wanted to drive at this point, and then eventually, you know, working in the garden is because our apprentices all got stranded wherever they lived. So we're shorthanded in the garden also.
Carol, what non-perishables do you need?
You know, we're not sure yet. We've just gotten, just yesterday and today, new information from what I call the food aggregators. They are the Food Lifeline, Northwest Harvest, and Second Harvest. Those are the three groups that supply all the food banks in the state of Washington. And they are all going to an emergency mode where instead of, we normally would get food from two of those, and we get different things from each of them. And they're going to a new mode where we will be supplied by only one. So all the food banks in Island County, for example, will have just one. And they're just gonna bring us boxes of prepared emergency boxes. So we're not quite sure yet what we won't be able to get, but we should be figuring that out in the next week or so.
If you could let us know, that's an area where we as individual shoppers could help and donate, or as a club or as clubs, we could go together and provide those things that you're not able to get. So
that'd be perfect.
Keep us in mind for that.
Oh, you will be forefront of my mind.
Well, I have one quick thing. Does anybody else have anything for Carol before I pop in?
Thank you, Carol. You're the best.
Oh,
And
thank you.
we're here
Once
for
again,
you.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, I'm a little bummed that Steve couldn't stay on with us. That's okay. But I wanted to share my screen for a second because we did get together. Molly, Molly, your ears were burning.
Drum roll.
I will give all the credit where credit is due, and that is Celia went ahead and designed a thank you for Ron and his staff. It is, Celia, can you tell me what the dimensions are real quick while I about to share my screen here? Can you unmute yourself and?
Yep, so it's 4 feet high by 10 feet long, and it's two-sided.
Can everybody see that? So it is huge. In fact, it's take up a big chunk of our deck today when we unrolled it.
It just arrived this afternoon.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So I'm gonna put that in the back of the car tomorrow, and I've already got my contact at Whidbey Health to drop it off, and that'll be put up in all 4 of our club's names tomorrow.
And just so you know, it does meet all the Rotary, the RI branding requirements for fonts and colors and logos.
Yes.
Celia.
Thank you, Celia. Keep us honest. Perfect.
Really awesome. Thank you.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. So she makes me look good, but I am all in favor of giving credit where credit is due. She's down there in my screen.
So Celia and Gwen, well, separate carts, 6 feet apart. I don't know, 6 feet.
We're 2 houses apart.
Yeah, I know. So
I'm downstairs. She's upstairs.
They're going to feed it up to Ron's and give it to Tim at the front door, and then they're going to post it up tomorrow. So,
Bruce is still with us. So Bruce, you can tell everybody you got to see it. So
and I thank Bruce for getting us together. We're tighter than ever now as all the Rotarians on the island, and we'll continue to do so. And Carol, thank you so much for joining us, and maybe in the near future you want to join us again, and always know that we're at your service. So anything you need, let me know, and I'll let the club know, and we'll go from there. And Jack, thank you. A big applause from all of us to you. Yeah, no, God bless you, and Larry, thanks for pitching on the PPP and the small business loan. And
John, I'm hearing a voice saying your name. Jane, is that you? Okay.
Oh yeah, Jane, please go ahead.
Can we please talk about the masks and the delivery and that type of thing? I
Yes.
have at least 32 orders. Jack, thank you very much.
Jack?
And people are anxious to know where they can pick them up and how they pay for them and that kind of stuff. And I'll send that email out to them if we have that information.
So Jack, we'll have about 40, if there's still enough, 40 boxes.
Yeah. So U Club have 40. I think our club has about 50. Oak Harbor Club has about 35. So that's almost 5,000 face masks or more.
Yeah. So how do we?
Hi, Alicia.
Yeah. I have everybody's name, how many boxes that they want, and if anybody here tonight hasn't ordered a box and you want one, email me please and let me know so that I know we're shutting this down by Wednesday at 5 o'clock. But Jack, ideas of where we can the distribution and payment and that kind of thing.
So Oak Harbor, I talked to Steve early. He called me. Steve's still online. He's probably gone.
No, Steve's gone.
Steve says I'm gonna give it to him. He's gonna collect the money and he's gonna give me the total. So I probably in my club I probably just had everybody come pick it up from me.
And our club do that also? Can our club do that also?
We can. It might be a little too much work for me because now you talk about 100 different people, So it might be easier. I give one to somebody in U Club's in charge, the 42 boxes. Then you guys can.
Jack, why don't you, me and John do a side Zoom? And I seem to be the gopher running around for our club. And so I can pick them up and maybe do some door-to-door deliveries for some of our people.
Yeah, that would be easy then. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you and I and John can get together and talk about that.
I can help. I be included on that because I have everybody's names.
Well, of course. Yes. I was just throwing it out there because we're running late. So yeah, Jane, I'll set up a meeting for you, Jack, John, and myself. And Molly sounds like she's interested in, and if we had 2 or 3 people that we could, Molly split the list in 2, you go up, I go down, and we'll have everybody delivered.
Yeah,
Can I make a suggestion that we have one check go to Jack for everybody in your club? I know from our club, we're gonna have one check going from everybody.
That's what I need to know. So I need to know to let those people know that who are ordering them, who to make the check out to, and if we're going to do that for make it out to Rotary Club of Whidbey Westside, and then Westside makes the check out to Jack. That's perfectly fine. Jim, are you okay with that? Jim?
That's the way we're having it handled because that way he doesn't handle all these checks. But Steve's handling the same way up there, Brian.
Okay.
Just to let you know, Jack is not only helping us, but he has volunteered to help other areas around District 5050, and they're putting together their requests too. So this is growing very fast, and Jack is just unbelievable in helping us. But that's why we have this task force to handle all the logistics and the particulars, and that's what we're working out. But if we can do it on a club basis, one check per club, it makes life a lot easier for everybody.
Okay, so I will send out so Jane, I will send out an email to the people that I just spoke of, Molly, you, John, and if everybody can meet, we'll work out those.
And if anybody else that wants to be a delivery person be on that also.
Do that.
So we could do that, but also Gwen, since I'm going to be writing the check.
I already have your name down. Would you like to join that meeting? Yes, I have your. It's on the pad.
Okay, and if anybody is here and hasn't ordered them and want to order them, please email me and I will put you on the list. Okay, or if you want to add one to your order or whatever. All right, but we've had good reception for it.
Yeah, so I ordered a couple of days ago, and so hopefully by early next week should be here.
Okay.
And I do have a few extra 1,000 that we had shipped in for ourselves to use. Langley Ministry has wanted me to get them 5,000. So I getting the 5,000, and I'm gonna get them 1,000 tomorrow because they really want to be out there donating to some other organization. So I gonna give them 1,000. And Tom from Payless called me today. He really needs some face masks. He couldn't even get it. He's like a month out if he ordered. He ordered. So I offered him to get him, sell him a few hundred off what I got so he can get his staff, because all the staffs out there working is not really safe for them. So, but if anybody and all members urgent need, then I can send you some, but otherwise we just wait till next week. So
Okay, that's good.
unless somebody's really need it, so.
Yeah, because people have been asking me when they would come in, so that's good to know. I'll let them all know. Thanks,
Yeah,
Jack.
it takes a little time to get out of China with the custom. Leaving China is not the easiest part. So
Sure.
as soon as I get out of China, it takes 2 days to get here after as soon as clear custom in China. It just sits in China and wait till people because you got to understand the whole China family and friend is sending package to different part of the world for that friend's face mask. So you can imagine, you know.
Sure.
So kind of like we all battle into buying face mask. We were lucky because our friends, they do 100,000 minimum in orders, and they just kind of take it from middle of the manufacturing line, just steal some out, take some out to, you know. So we were lucky to be able to get some. Otherwise, I wouldn't know what to do myself. And I was lucky my wife got the connection. Otherwise, my staff wouldn't even have any of the face masks. We had about 30 staff working every day, and so I go to about 30 face masks or more a day with my business.
Hey, Jack, I have a question because I know this is probably going to come up. If they wear the face mask, is it only good for a one-time use, or is it good for more than a one-time use?
It's really only the one-time use face mask. The one we're getting is about one-time use.
Okay.
Usually half a day supposed to.
Okay.
The N95, you can use up to day and a half or 2 days. But if you put a tissues inside,
okay,
that will help a little longer.
Or a scarf on the outside.
Yeah. So the different, I've done a lot of study on the N95 because I got like vendors want me to help them get it for them. So like I'm looking to help research. I've been learning a lot about face masks. So the one we have, the surgical mask, it's just for, you know, protecting your cell a little bit, only about 30% the virus can get in. 70% the virus can get in the mask you have, but that's more for you to not get somebody sick or sneeze to somebody.
Right.
The N95 is basically kind of 95% protected.
Okay.
So basically only like 5% of virus can get in, I guess. That's kind of what I mean. And so that's why the N95 is really hard to get, and they more for surgeon than wear that stuff. So and they really
Jack, are these one size fits all?
Yes.
In other words, can our grandchildren wear them?
Yes, should be. Give me 1 second, I'll get you one.
I sent him a picture of them because I think
I saw that.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if there were sizes.
Okay, I'm back. There we go. So, see the fun? Just go.
Yeah.
And they got little things on the top here, little metal piece. You squish it, just make it tight.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
So fashionable.
It is.
It helped my luck.
Those face masks normally like 10 cents in America. Today it's like, I talked to Frank from Seaboat. Frank's paying like 90 some cents for it himself, and he haven't got it. He's still waiting for another week already.
Oh my God.
Well,
John, I think it's about time to wrap it up. Yeah, sorry.
It
You're right,
is,
sir.
and you know, we ran over, but you know what? It's for a good reason. So I'm going to finish off tonight, like I did last Monday with this is from Benjamin Franklin. I never met him in person, but you know, he's, let's see what he has to say. In the morning, ask yourself, what good shall I do today? As the day draws to a close, ask yourself, what good have I done today? And we're doing really good work, so I'm sure old Benjamin would be very happy and pleased with us. So God bless you all. Keep safe until next time.
You get dessert, a drink too.
Adjourn.
Yeah, my turn. Now I get a drink. Bye, you guys.
Thank you. Great to see you. Bye-bye.
Bye.